everybody, and welcome to That Wrestling Show, the podcast where all pro wrestling matters. I am your host, Bill Yankovi, and this week, going to be reviewing the Royal Rumble. Going to give you my thoughts on everything that took place this past Sunday, the highs and the lows of the Royal Rumble event. Plus, Fro is going to stop by, and we are going to do... well, it's been a tradition for quite a while here on the podcast, and that is Fro guesses who won different awards. This is from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I got my issue in the mail this week, so I tested Fro to see if he got any of the winners right. Plus, we have a fun little discussion about wrestling in general, because, you know, he hasn't really watched in a while, so I update him on that. So it's a fun little friendly discussion between two good friends. And at the end of the show, I will be making my prediction for Super Bowl 55 this Sunday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Going to start the show with some sad news for those who have not heard. The one-time natural Butch Reed passed away today at the age of 66 years old. He had recently suffered a double heart attack and had not been in good health after dealing with the double heart attack. Butch Reed, who at one time was also known as Bruce Reed, began his wrestling career in 1978 after playing professional football for the Kansas City Chiefs. Butch Reed was trained by Ronnie Etchison, debuted in 1978, and was adopted the nickname Hacksaw. So he was the original Hacksaw before Jim Duggan came around. Butch Reed would go into different territories before hitting it big in 1983 in the Mid-South territory, where not only would he be a popular face, but he would be a very hated heel, winning their top title, the North American Championship, in the mid-1980s. During the peak of his run, he would have a match with another Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, at the first annual Jim Crockett Memorial Cup tournament. They were one of two non-tournament matches that took place in the Superdome in New Orleans, where they fought for the North American title. This was before Mid-South became UWF. Butch Reed, would quickly go to the Central States territory, ran under Bob Geigel, be in Kansas City, and would be teamed up with Rufus R. Jones, and they would be known as the Soul Patrol. Butch Reed would eventually be managed by Slick, who was there just before making his debut in the WWF that same year, where he became known as the Natural Butch Reed. Butch Reed made a lot of history, believe it or not, while he was in the WWF during his run. I know some people may think, well, wait a minute, where did he make history? Well, he and Koko B. Ware had the first WrestleMania match ever between two African-American professional wrestlers. He was in the main event of the very first Survivor Series, Thanksgiving night 1987, where he was on Andre the Giant's team. He was also a part in the first ever Royal Rumble, and, a side note, was the very first person ever eliminated in the Royal Rumble match, and he would compete in the championship tournament at WrestleMania 4, where he would lose to the eventual winner, Macho Man Randy Savage. After his time with the WWF in 1988, he would go to Jim Crockett Promotions, which would become World Championship Wrestling. In '89, he had a little bit of a feud with Ranger Ross and Junkyard Dog, just to name a few, before sort of having, I guess you could say, a renaissance on his career, where he and Ron Simmons, both under a mask, would team up together to be known as Doom, managed at the original time by Woman. The Team of Doom made their debut at Halloween Havoc 1989, where they defeated the Steiner brothers. A few months later, however, they would lose a title versus mask match with the Steiner brothers at a Clash of the Champions to reveal who they really were. And then we would see not too long after they would be put together with Theodore R. Long. And Theodore R. Long would manage Doom to the NWA World Tag Team Championship and would have quite a lengthy run as tag team champions. They won the belts in May of 1990 and went all the way to February 1991, a 9-month reign as World Tag Team Champions, where they would lose the titles to the Fabulous Freebirds. After the match, Long and Reed beat up Ron Simmons, splitting the team up, and eventually this would lead to Butch Reed and Ron Simmons having a match at the first Super Brawl, where it would be in a steel cage match where Ron Simmons defeated Butch Reed. Butch Reed would return briefly in 1992 along with the Barbarian and Cactus Jack, and even beat Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham at Clash of the Champions 20 with the Barbarian in a tag team match before leaving WCW for good in 1992. The rest of his career, Butch Reed would go to many different organizations, including the USWA and the Global Wrestling Federation. Reed's last match was on November 4th, 2011, teaming with Angel V, wrestling Justin Lee and Max McGurk to a no contest. In July 2016, Reed was named part of a class action lawsuit filed against WWE, which alleged that wrestlers incurred traumatic brain injuries during their tenure and that the company concealed the risks of injury. The suit was litigated by attorney Konstantin Kairos, who had been involved in a number of other lawsuits against WWE. In September 2018, the lawsuit was dismissed by United States District Judge Vanessa Lynn Bryant. So during Butch Reed's time as a professional wrestler, he was a co-holder of the Central States Tag Team title with Jerry Roberts, no relation to Jake Roberts, held the International Heavyweight title, was a co-holder of the Florida version of the North American Tag Team titles with Sweet Brown Sugar, held the GWF North American title, 3-time holder of the Mid-South North American Heavyweight title, co-holder of the Mid-South Tag titles with Jim Neihart, and the Mid-South Television title. Also held the Mid-States Wrestling Heavyweight title, the Missouri Wrestling Federation Heavyweight title, the USWA World Heavyweight title, was a co-holder of the NWA/WCW World Tag Team title with Ron Simmons, and was the WLW Heavyweight Champion. Other accomplishments during his career included winning the Omni Thanksgiving Tag Team Tournament in 1983 in Georgia Championship Wrestling. His partner for that tournament was Pez Whatley. He was ranked number 174 of the 500 best singles wrestlers during the PWI years in 2003, and was ranked number 91 of the 100 best tag teams during the PWI years with Ron Simmons in 2003, and was also named by Wrestling Observer Newsletter the strongest wrestler of 1984. Butch Reed passed away today at the age of 66. Some other news to report. Steve Cutler from WWE. This comes as a little bit of a surprise, as until recently he was on television as one of the Knights of the Lone Wolf with King Corbin. There's been reports going around that the reason that he got released was because he had tested positive for COVID-19 and that he had heat with Vince McMahon for getting COVID-19. Now, Steve Cutler did release a statement. I'm going to read this. He released it on Twitter yesterday, and he said, and I quote, "Unfortunately, today I was released. It was shocking to say the least, but I am excited about the future and all the possibilities in front of me. Thanks for your continued support. 90 days, the countdown begins." Now, what is interesting is that while he had COVID-19. His girlfriend, Impact Wrestling superstar Deonna Purrazzo, also had COVID-19. So they were both in this weird position where they couldn't really do anything. And, well, unfortunately, Steve Cutler no longer in WWE, but it wouldn't surprise me if we find him somewhere down the line in a new organization. Who knows? Maybe he'll get a big opportunity. One of the things that has been very important these days in social media or anywhere in the world really is coming out. Well, the former Tyler Rex did exactly that yesterday on Instagram. For those who are not aware, Tyler Rex, who wrestled in WWE's version of ECW, announced on Instagram that he is now a woman. The former Tyler Rex posted the following on Instagram, which I will read. The ball dropped early today as this is now worldwide news. This is me, unashamed, unabashedly me. This is the side of me that has hidden in the shadows, afraid and fearful of what the world would think, afraid of what my family, friends, and followers would say or do. I am no longer afraid and I am no longer fearful. I can now say with confidence that I love myself for who I am. The previous 8 months have been some of the darkest of my entire life. The emotional turmoil of being transgender and having to face the world has almost ended me on multiple occasions. However, the day I stopped caring about what other people thought was the day I truly became limitless and allowed my authentic self to come into the light. My loving wife, family, and closest friends have accepted me for who I am. To them, I am forever grateful. Your support along the way means more than you will ever know. I don't expect everyone to agree or understand. It's not my place to change any of your core beliefs. Just know that the outer shell may change, but the soul remains the same. I know that many of you have questions, and, as I have promised, they will be answered. Tomorrow, on Extra, my interview with Billy Bush airs worldwide. I have included a link in the bio to this interview, along with my personal coming out video that explains everything. Waiting for Instagram to approve my name change and update the bio. Please see my story for the link in the meantime. I promise to always be transparent and truthful with my journey, and to be a light to those that are in need. This is me. Love always. Gabby Elon Tuft. You know what? I'm happy that, Tyler is now Gabby, that she feels comfortable with who she is. The fact that that the wife supports him, the family. This is one of those situations where, you hear sometimes people not supporting those that are in this situation, but I'm very glad to hear that the former Tyler Rex, Gabby Taft, has this kind of support, and we are rooting for her. Next Saturday, Impact Wrestling is going to have an internet pay-per-view, No Surrender, and they are going to have one of the more unique matches, I think, in quite some time, as they will have a first ever triple threat revolver match. I know, try saying that 5 times fast. So, what is a triple threat revolver match? Well, Impact Wrestling, when they announced the match, announced the participants and what the match would be. So I will read it to you. The match will feature Josh Alexander, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Blake Christian, Daivari, Willie Mack, Trey Miguel, and Suicide, with 3 men competing as the match begins. When one competitor is eliminated, a new competitor will join the match until everyone has entered. The final 3 competitors will then battle until there is a final pinfall or submission, leading to one final victor. Not sure if anything is on the line in that match or not, so we'll have to wait and see if they announce there being a stipulation for that or not. Other matches announced for that event on February 13th. The main event is Rich Swann defending the Impact title against Tommy Dreamer on Tommy Dreamer's 50th birthday. The Good Brothers will defend the Impact Tag Team titles against Private Party. TJP will defend the X Division title against Rohit Raju. And in a tag match, Eddie Edwards and Matt Cardona will face Brian Myers and Hernandez. Now, before the show changes to Fro and I talking for a bit, I want to talk about real quick the end of Dynamite this week, where we saw the debut of Kenta and basically the confirmation of AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling in a working agreement. Now you have to remember at this time right now, ladies and gentlemen, that AEW has a working agreement with AAA Wrestling in Mexico, with the NWA, with Impact Wrestling, and now New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is a move I know a lot of fans have been wanting to see for a very, very long time, and they're going to get it. I think the one thing that those that are just jumping up and down, ready to pounce on this, is we have to remember, we're not going to get the big names right away. We're not going to get Tanahashi. We're not going to get Okada, Naito, Suzuki, Ibushi, Jay White, Hiromu Takahashi, to name a few. It's going to take a while because we are still in a pandemic. With Kenta, it works because he lives in the United States. His family lives in Orlando, Florida. So for him to go from Orlando to Jacksonville is not really that far. It may be, an hour, hour and a half, maybe a little bit more. If somebody in Florida knows how long, please let me know. But I think, this is going to be a good move. It doesn't necessarily mean that the deal with New Japan and Ring of Honor is done. I have not heard anything about if that deal has finished, is done for. There were some New Japan wrestlers in the Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament back in the summer, so it's not necessarily that deal is done. We don't really know, for that matter. But, obviously Kenta is the first name that we get. Who we will see in the future, I'm just going to say, let's wait a little while. Let's not rush into things. Let's not go crazy. Let's just wait to see. They do have the LA Dojo right now. They could be sending some of their young boys over for excursion. That could be what they do for the time being until, we're back to quote unquote normal and be able to have talent go to the U.S. and have talent go to Japan. So, as much as this is a very good move and a very good deal, I say, let's wait and see what we get. Alright, so right now, we're going to go to a segment that was recorded during the week with myself and Fro, and when you're done listening to that, I will be talking about this past Sunday's Royal Rumble. Alright guys, we are here with a very special segment. It is an annual tradition on that wrestling show, and to help continue the tradition is Fro. How you doing, Fro?
Howdy ho! I'm doing okay.
Very good.
I have a toothache.
Oh, sorry to hear that. What side does it hurt?
It is on the left side, second tooth down.
Ah, all right. Yes. Well, hopefully you can get to a dentist real soon.
I was at the dentist today.
Oh, and what did the dentist say?
Come back in 14 days.
Oh, that sucks.
Aww. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
So anyway, for those of you that are new or have not been around long enough, every year this podcast has gone over year-end awards. And for about at least the last 5 years, we've had some fun where we've made it a little game with whoever, mainly Fro, where he has to pick who won the award. Now, what I do is I give him, in this case, this is Pro Wrestling Illustrated, the top 4 finishers. The top 4. He has to guess who won the award. Now, some will be easy, some will be hard. And I can tell you, Fro, in advance, we do have a new category this year.
Ooh, cool.
I will tell you when we get to that new category.
Nice.
So, with the setup basically done, are you ready?
I am super ready.
All right. I don't know how many categories there are. Let me see if I can do a quick count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 categories.
Cool.
All right. I'm going to guess that you're going to get, I think you're going to be close to half. I'm going to say 5.
Okay, I'm going to say I will be proud of myself if I do 7.
All right. Well, let's begin with our first category, the Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Of course, this was voted upon by the readers of Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Here were the top 4 finishers. Joshua Wavra, Anna Jay, Dominic Mysterio, and Abaddon. Who was named the Rookie of the Year?
It's going to be very boring and Dominic, right?
Yeah, it's Dominic. 54% of the votes went to Dominic. Anna Jay was second with 18%, so this wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Wavro was third with 8, and Abaddon fourth with 6. Next category. The most improved wrestler of the year. So right now you're 1 for 1. You're off to a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Your final 4, Drew McIntyre, Otis, Jey Uso, and Ricky Starks. Who do you think was named the most improved wrestler of the year?
Well, it's not Ricky Starks. I don't think it's Uso either. It's between Drew McIntyre and
Otis.
I will say Drew McIntyre.
And you would be correct.
Nice.
Drew McIntyre received 30% of the votes. Ricky Starks was second at 13. Otis 12.
Really?
Jey Uso at 11.
I thought nobody has heard about that guy. That's good that I have.
All right. This next category is the Inspirational Wrestler of the Year. Here were your top 4 finishers.
Okay.
Drake Maverick, Thunder Rosa, Shad Gaspard, and the Speaking Out movement.
I'm going to guess the Speaking Out movement.
No, the answer is Shad Gaspard with 44%. Thunder Rosa was second at 10%. Speaking Out movement and Drake were tied at 5%.
Okay.
All right, so you're 2 for 3, not bad. Okay, next category is the Comeback of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Comeback of the Year. Your final 4.
My personal answer to this is probably, if I had to like say a comeback of the year,
Mm-hmm.
I would have Sheamus up there. That's weird, maybe. I like his comeback.
Anyway, here's your final four.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton, MVP, Asuka, and Eric Young.
I don't want it to be Randy Orton. Randy Orton?
MVP won the award.
Oh, thank heavens.
At 19%.
I've never been more happy that I'm wrong.
Randy Orton was second at 15%. Eric Young 13, Asuka at 10. Now to our new category. This is our new category.
Okay.
The Independent Wrestler of the Year.
Okay. AKA, I've never heard of any of those people.
Right. So you might be going by name on this.
Yes, probably.
Here are your final four.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Gray.
Okay.
Nick Gage.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Dickinson. And Warhorse.
Ooh, I will choose Warhorse.
It is Warhorse. Warhorse got 19% of the votes. Nick Gage was second at 14. AJ Gray 10. Chris Dickinson 7.
Is it a little funny that I would probably pick the same winner as the horse race we do once a year?
Oh, the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah, the Kentucky Derby. If I heard like, oh, Warhorse is going to be there. Cool.
Exactly.
I would pick that. Yeah.
All right. Next category, Feud of the Year.
Okay.
Feud of the Year. Here were our finalists. Bayley versus Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. Edge versus Randy Orton. And MJF versus Cody Rhodes.
This is a hard one. Especially because I haven't watched any wrestling lately. Do I think it's going to be WWE or do I think it's going to be not?
AEW.
No, I'm going to go with my favorite feud of them. I will go with Orange Cassidy.
And Jericho?
Yeah, I really like that feud.
Well, the winner of this award, Bayley versus Sasha Banks. 37% of the votes went there. Edge versus Randy Orton was second at 16. Jericho and Orange Cassidy was at 10. And MJF versus Cody was at 7.
Okay.
Next category, the most popular wrestler of the year. And,
oh, no.
And before we get to the final four, I want to tell everyone 1% separated the winner and second place. So it is close. So here are your final four.
Mm-hmm.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Keith Lee. Orange Cassidy. John Moxley.
Well, Orange Cassidy is my choice, but I'm going to guess that it was again between Moxley and who did you say first from WWE?
I think I said Drew McIntyre.
Yes. So Moxley or Drew McIntyre? Moxley or Drew McIntyre? Drew.
Fro, you should have stuck with your personal pick. It is Orange Cassidy.
Really? I'm very, very happy about that.
23% of the votes went to Orange. 22% went to John Moxley. That's how close it was. Drew McIntyre was at 14%, and Keith Lee was at 8%.
I'm happy that people have the same taste as me.
Well, I'm glad that you're glad. All right. Next category. The most hated wrestler of the year.
Yeah. Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it someone that has the spear as his finisher and also has someone that talks for him? Maybe? Is that number one, Roman Reigns?
He's actually number 2.
Oh, okay.
The winner was Seth Rollins.
Really?
21% of the votes. Your guy was second at 19%.
Oh, that's close.
MJF was third at 17%, so the top 3 was very close. And Randy Orton was fourth at 11%.
Well, the real answer is Randy Orton, so.
All right, next category. Match of the year. All right. Here are your final 4.
Okay.
Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley from WrestleMania.
That was a good one. Mm-hmm.
Edge versus Randy Orton, the greatest wrestling match ever.
No! Still angry about that.
Walter versus Ilya Dragunov from NXT UK.
Oh, that was a good match.
That match is insane. Or the Young Bucks versus Adam Page and Kenny Omega.
It's going to be the greatest match of all time, isn't it?
It's the Young Bucks versus Adam Page and Kenny Omega.
Oh, thank God I'm wrong.
22% voted that match as the match of the year. Edge and Orton had 14%. Charlotte and Rhea at 6%. Walter and Ilya at 5%.
Remember when we said last year that WrestleMania, at least this year, won't be 2 days? Oh, wait.
I know. Well, you got 2 more to go, and if you get these next 2 right, you will hit my number of how many I think you would get right. So,
okay.
There's still hope.
I will try to not let you down.
All right. Tag Team of the Year.
Young Bucks.
That's your guess?
Yeah.
It is Bayley and Sasha Banks.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
20% of the votes went to them. 16% to second place, FTR. 14% went to Adam Page and Kenny Omega. And 13% went to the Street Profits.
Okay.
And our final category, Wrestler of the Year.
Of the year.
The Wrestler of the Year.
Drew McIntyre is kind of like, I think he's up there. He's definitely up there. He really had a good year. I would say Randy Orton is probably up there. Female one. Yeah, let me hear.
All right. Here are your final 4. Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho. Bayley. Jon Moxley.
Really? Okay. Moxley?
Jon Moxley was voted the Wrestler of the Year by Pro Wrestling Illustrated. 29% of the fan votes went to him. 10% went to Bayley. 8% went to Jericho. And 7% went to Sasha Banks. And just one quick addition to add real quick. 2 recipients of the Stanley Weston Award. They're basically lifetime achievement awards given to individuals from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. This year it is Medusa, aka Alundra Blaze, and former editor of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Stu Sachs, both recipients of the award.
This is going to be in the main show, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do you mind if we talk 2 minutes about the last man standing match at the Royal Rumble?
No, we can talk about it.
Okay, what did you think about it?
The ending kind of ruined what was an otherwise good match.
I think, no joke, that is probably my favorite Roman Reigns match of all time. I don't really like Roman Reigns matches, and I think it was maybe the perfect match I have ever seen. Like, I think it's like I said, it's definitely my favorite match of the year so far. It really surprised me about how good it was. I wasn't prepared for it at all.
Of the non-Royal Rumble matches that were at the Rumble, this did get my highest grade, which I'll talk about in a little bit. It was a good match. It was.
Yeah.
I just thought the ending, and it was accidental. I know it was. It wasn't meant to be, the way it was, but it kind of did bring it down just a little bit, not too much, but
I agree. But when I think of last man standing matches, I like that they are so around the arena, near the other ring, like the training ring. Like, I really liked how they used the material inside of where they were fighting against each other, and it felt like it was kind of like a match that was important for Roman Reigns to win. Like, it kind of showed me that when Roman Reigns cares, he can give a very, very, very good match. And I think the highlight of the match was definitely the truck. That was very funny.
Yeah.
And also driving over Owens with the
golf cart.
Golf cart. That was also one of my highlights.
Ever since he's had this turn, he's had like the match of the night, or almost the match of the night, on like the last 5 pay-per-views in a row.
Really? Okay.
That I'm thinking about, because the Clash of Champions match with Jey Uso was good.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell was really good. Survivor Series, I think, might be my personal favorite of the ones that Roman has had up to this point.
Okay.
And the TLC match was fun to watch. And so was this one.
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. So, as Fro is talking to Roman Reigns here, so...
I was getting bells.
Ah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I just think that, I think also Owens was the perfect contender against him. Like, even though the ending was kind of botched, I think I really liked it. I gave that match a 9 out of 10.
That's a high grade.
Yeah. What did you think about the Women Royal Rumble?
Personally, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
That's
good.
I think it was the best one we've had of the women.
I totally agree. Actually,
I really think it was.
I think there. I will complain a little about the men's Royal Rumble. I think it was the best of the two, but I still think the winner was kind of obvious. Yeah, I had no idea who the winner was before going into this Royal Rumble. I was thinking maybe Sasha Banks, maybe Bailey, maybe someone like you would get it.
Right.
It was a very, very, very big surprise for me when Belair won, and I was very, very, very happy about it.
Yeah.
I think it was just so amazing, and they didn't use a lot of like gimmick people in this. Like there was no one like, oh, I haven't. So I will wrestle now. Who was the only one that came back? Was it Alicia Bliss?
Hold on, I have the order here.
It wasn't Alicia Bliss.
No, not Alexa Bliss. Let's see, Alicia Fox. Let's see, Victoria.
Victoria was there, yeah.
Tori Wilson.
Yeah.
And Jillian, and that was really it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a very good. I think it's definitely my favorite women's Royal Rumble. And talk about a good winner, jeez. Who do you see her going against?
I think from the way they've kind of been hinting for a little while, I think she's going to go after Sasha Banks, which would be a very good match.
Yeah. Then Sasha will lose it. She doesn't really need it anymore.
No, not at this point.
No. Okay, let's talk about the men's. Randy Orton. Holy moly macaroni. I was 110% sure he was going to win.
When he hit that RKO at the end, I thought to myself, "Oh no, they're gonna do it."
Yeah.
Because like the whole time, because of what happened earlier, I was thinking, okay, he'll come back during the match.
I mean, it is very like for people that haven't seen it. Like he got attacked in the beginning by Edge. And Edge and him have a fight outside the ring, and he gets totally destroyed after that. And like we don't see him for at least half an hour.
Yeah, he is not there until the end.
Yeah, and I like that. I knew he was coming back. Like everybody knew that he was coming back.
And you know what?
But it was very smart of them to do it.
It was actually one of the few times where I'm like, I'm not mad about this.
Right.
I'm really not.
Yeah.
And then for what happened with I will say this. To me, Edge was the MVP of the entire night, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Here's a guy who's in his 40s.
Yeah.
Hasn't been in a match like this in years.
Right.
And he doesn't take a break. Like, you know, like how some years if you watch, you know, some of the guys will like go to the outside and it'll take like 5 minutes to get themselves together and then come back. He never did that. Not one time. The entire match. He was in there from the beginning to the end, and if he did, you know, like if he did rest, it was in the ring selling that, you know, He's been in there forever. He never
Yeah.
went to the floor, to get himself together, to get a drink of water.
Right.
That man was there from the beginning to the end. And for someone at his age, in his 40s, to do something that, I can't say if anybody 10 years younger could do that. I think they could. But to have not been in a match like this in 10 plus years, that is a huge accomplishment for Edge.
I think my main problem is that I really, really, really don't want to see him against against Roman Reigns. I really, 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 really don't want him against Roman Reigns.
All right, are you?
I can't see Edge Roman Reigns match being good. And headlining WrestleMania, it doesn't feel like a main event.
Well, I mean, we thought the same way about Roman and Jey Uso in September, and look at how that ended up being.
True.
So
that is true.
It's very possible. It's very possible they could pull this
But
off.
I would really... Yeah. I'm going to guess that is what they have...
Mm-hmm.
Did he say that he was going after Roman?
He has not officially said it yet.
Okay. I would love to see him against Drew, though.
That match would be a very interesting match.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre against Edge, I would love to see.
But then...
Because he's the other one that holds the title, right?
Yeah. And then last night, or Wednesday on NXT, Edge went down to NXT and had a thing with Finn Balor. I mean, obviously that's not going to happen, but, just the idea, that would be a very interesting match.
I would love to see Finn Balor against Edge. But no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But you think it's going to be Roman Reigns?
I think it is.
Yeah.
And then the story with Drew then is who goes with Drew for the WWE title, because you have The Miz with the Money in the Bank briefcase, but at the same time you have a guy like Keith Lee who was not in the Rumble because his girlfriend tested positive for COVID. So, you can't count Keith Lee out of the mix. And then you've also got like an AJ Styles that could be in the mix. There's a few people that they could go with for the WWE title at WrestleMania.
Who holds the other women's title, by the way?
Asuka holds the Raw Women's title.
Okay. And Asuka is going against, or what is the rumors?
I haven't heard rumors, but the idea is Rhea Ripley.
Oh, I would love to see that.
And if that match happens, oh my God.
That would be fun. I'm kind of looking forward to WrestleMania. It's kind of strange. I didn't think I was going to. I haven't seen wrestling in so long. It was so strange to see the Royal Rumble. I think the last pay-per-view I watched was with you. And
that was Survivor Series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the tribute show.
Yeah. No, it was Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were watching The Undertaker saying 2 words. Never been so disappointed.
Oh, man.
I was so angry. Talking about angry and things like that, has the Hall of Fame gotten some inductees this year?
What I've heard, and I did talk about this a couple of weeks ago on the show, they are considering doing a virtual induction ceremony.
Okay.
For this year, to honor the class of 2020.
Okay. But no
So,
class of 2021 then?
well, I think they would be the class of 2021, which is
Okay.
kind of weird to say.
So they are both both years?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. That's a weird way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I find it strange that I guess that they don't have a new class this year. It's almost like they should have skipped.
Well, I
Like,
think
yeah, I understand why.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the idea is if they do another class with last year's class, it's going to be too much. And I could
Yeah.
definitely see the argument there.
Sure.
So, because I know with the Football Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, American football, they're going to
Okay.
do 2 nights where they're going to induct like their class of 2020 the first night and then the class of 2021 the second night.
Okay.
So I could see where WWE may not feel comfortable in doing 2 classes for 1 year, you know, so.
Is Brady going in this year? Did I hear that wrong?
Oh, no. Tom Brady's not going in this year.
Okay, good. I heard something about him winning a prize or something.
If he wins another Super Bowl, I swear to God.
Yeah, no, I don't think he will win this year. He's not there, so
No, he actually is in the Super Bowl.
Chiefs will win.
Yeah, I would think. But
Yeah, I don't think Tampa has a chance. I think the score will be very, very high for. Do you know how many audience are allowed?
I thought I heard 25,000, and some of the
Which
fans.
arena is this?
Well, I heard some of the fans that are going to be there are going to be first responders as a way of saying thank you for all you've done.
That's much.
Which I think is absolutely fair. So.
Yeah, and also probably they have gotten the vaccine, so
Mm-hmm.
if they are first responders, I mean.
Right.
Yeah, no, go Buccaneers. No, I really think the Chiefs will win. I will be very surprised if the Buccaneers takes it.
Just have to wait and see.
Go. But yeah, no, it was a good Royal Rumble. Very good Royal Rumble. It almost got me back into wrestling. I really like Roman Reigns, and I hate that I like him.
That should be a T-shirt somewhere.
I hate that I love Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Yeah, no. So my guess is so who are they planning against crazy in the head guy?
Crazy in the head guy?
What is it? The puppet guy?
Oh, Bray Wyatt?
Bray Wyatt, yeah.
I'm only guessing, that it's going to be Randy Orton because that feud has not ended.
Ooh, I would like to see that, yeah. That would be cool.
So, we'll see.
And who holds the tag teams?
The men or the women?
Both.
Okay, well, the women is Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler.
Okay.
The
Cool.
Raw Tag Champs.
And-
Oh, sorry.
No, who do you think they are going to go against?
Well, they just did a match for the number one contender, so maybe Lana and Naomi? I'm not really sure.
It was good to see Lana back, by the way.
It was. And it was good to see Naomi back, too.
Yeah.
The Raw Tag Champs are Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander.
Okay.
I have no idea who they would face at this point.
That sounds like a very boring and bland team.
And the SmackDown Tag Champs are Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode.
Right, that I saw, yeah.
So I have no idea who they would face.
Cool. Yeah, no, it will be interesting. Who's the Intercontinental Champion at the moment?
Big E.
Okay.
Who could he face? There's a bunch of good people on SmackDown he could defend against.
Yeah. And I saw that R. Kelly, as I call him, took back the TV championship. It's not R. Kelly.
R-Truth.
That's very nice. R-Truth, yeah.
How dare you? How dare you
How dare
compare a national treasure like R-Truth?
R. Kelly and R-Truth. How dare I? Just shows my true self.
Wow.
Yeah, and I saw that he won back his TV title. That was fun. That was really, really fun.
And the U.S. champ is Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
And I think if he stays the champ, it might be him and Riddle at WrestleMania.
I would love to see Riddle with the title. So what's going on in NXT? This is like keeping Throw up to date.
Yeah, this is the whole segment began as the awards, and now we're keeping Throw up to date. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, right now they're doing the Dusty Tag Classic tournament.
Okay, cool.
They actually are doing a women's one as well this year.
Oh, that's cool.
So both finals are going to be at the next takeover.
Okay. Is that going to be before WrestleMania this year? Or?
Oh yeah, that'll be before. Yeah. That'll be before.
Okay.
Finn Balor is going to face Pete Dunne for the NXT title.
Has he been champ a long time, or?
How long has Finn been champ? Let me look that up real quick. I want to say it's under 6 months.
Okay, not that long.
Let me.
I think Finn is kind of like an all-rounder when it comes to that. It doesn't hurt the company if he's the champion, and he's a very good pusher of new talent. So
right, okay, Finn Balor. Oh, he won it in September, so that would be 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so 5 months. Let's see. Johnny Gargano is going to defend the North American title against Kushida.
Ooh,
so I'm really looking forward to that match.
That will be very interesting.
Although the match I think I'm the most interested in going into that show is the women's title match. That's going to be a triple threat match where it's Io Shirai, Toni Storm, and Mercedes Martinez.
I could see Mercedes Martinez winning that.
And Io's had the title for 8 months now?
Oh yeah, at least. Because last time we talked, she had it.
Yeah. And not to ignore them, the current tag champs are Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. They're not going to defend the titles at the next takeover because of everything else going on.
Who?
Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch.
Oh, them. Oh, okay, of course. Yes, I know who that is. He pretends. I have no clue. Okay, let's go over to AEW. Who's champion there?
All right. Well, Kenny Omega is right now the AEW champion.
Cool.
The Young Bucks are the tag champs.
Mm-hmm.
Darby Allin is the TNT champion, and Hikaru Shida is the women's champion. And
Wow, still.
yeah, and they had a very wonderful ending to Dynamite this week with Kenta attacking John Moxley
Mm-hmm.
because Kenta is the is the number one contender to the IWGP US title, and excuse me, New Japan, they've been doing this weekly show that they've aired like on their streaming service, and it's in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't watch it, but I do know the last episode Moxley attacked Kenta. So this week it's the other way around, and it was done so good. And then I watched today as we're recording this. Omega was trying to get Kenta to join the group, like his little group, or be like, say hi to everyone in Japan. And Kenta's like, you go fuck yourself. I'm like, yes! Oh, it was wonderful.
That was really good. Cool.
So, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And then, their next pay-per-view is March 7th. And I want to say they have one match announced. And it's Darby Allin and Sting against Brian Cage and Ricky Starks in a street fight.
By the way, I heard that Sting was there, and I was like, no.
Yeah, he is.
That has to be a joke. And
Nope.
and people are like, no.
Nope, it's real.
How old is he now?
That's another good question.
Isn't he older than The Undertaker? Still going on.
Sting is 61.
Jeez.
Undertaker is 55.
Yeah. See? So he's older than The Undertaker and still going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Have they taken him away from the alumni page on WWE?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Let me check.
Maybe they have. So like, fuck you.
Now the thing is, I would think he's in the Hall of Fame section.
Yeah, that was I was thinking as well.
Let's see.
That would be funny if they deleted him.
Anybody that goes to AEW, their profile will be deleted off of our Hall of Fame page.
Wouldn't surprise me if he was pretty enough to do it.
You're not allowed.
You're fired.
Even though you...
Oh no.
I mean, really. Let's see.
It would be very, very funny. No. So, has he wrestled, or...
No, he has not had a match yet.
Okay.
Oh, Sting's still on.
Okay. So he's going to wrestle?
Yeah.
In the age of 61.
Yeah.
Wow. Against two?
He has two?
No, against two.
Oh, Ricky Starks and Brian Cage in a street fight.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
and it kind of makes sense, so he won't have to do all the work.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, yeah.
So.
That will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it is so weird to think that he's still going on in 2020. I wonder what they see in him in AEW.
I think what it is Sting did not feel happy with the way his last match went.
Well, nobody did.
And he was like, that's not the way I want to retire.
Yeah.
So
like, nobody was happy that he lost that match.
Right, so he's probably like, okay, I want to do another match, but I got to do it somewhere else.
Yeah, no, he should have won that match. Totally. I still think so. After so many years. I still think he should have won. So, what's the under odds for Undertaker having a WrestleMania match?
Oh, man. I hope to God he doesn't, man.
That would be so... That would be stepping on dog shit if he did.
I mean, oh my God, that would just be so terrible.
People would be so upset if he did.
I would just be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, it wouldn't surprise me by any chance. I think he will be there in some way.
Now, if he doesn't have a match, I'm okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think we hear the dings.
So yeah, like if he doesn't have a match and he makes like an appearance, I'm okay with it. If he has a match,
you will be upset.
I will have a problem.
Yeah. Who's going to host it this year? Do you know?
Oh, it's too early. They haven't announced who's going to host it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We're so far away.
Well, it's in April. It's not that far away, is it?
It's 9 weeks away.
Yeah. I always forget that it's Elimination Chamber in the middle. That's kind of a, like, throwaway pay-per-view. Anyway, it was nice to talk to you all.
Yes, good to have you back on.
If you want to hear me talk about something that is not wrestling, good.
To another digital citizen.
Another digital citizen.
There you go.
Bye.
Bye. All right, welcome back, and thank you to Fro for spending some time with me this week on the program. Now it is time to discuss the Royal Rumble and everything that happened this past Sunday. Gotta say, this is a tale of two halves with this Royal Rumble. Not only will I be giving you my grades for each of the matches at the Royal Rumble, but I will also be giving you Dave Meltzer's grades, and I will also be giving you the grades from CBS Sports. So, with that said, let's dive into the pre-show, and we do have one pre-show match. This match was originally scheduled to be on the main card, but got pushed back to the pre-show the day of the event. The Women's Tag Team Championship, Charlotte and Asuka defending against Shayna and Nia Jax. Nothing much really to write home about, except it was a good match. It was kind of a, average title match, but good match. They were working on Asuka for the duration of the match. Charlotte came in to make the save. And then we get to the end of the match. Ric Flair comes out, and he distracts Charlotte. So Lacey Evans comes from around, tries to attack Charlotte, but gets caught. Charlotte puts on the figure 8, and Charlotte gets hit with, the woman's right from Lacey, and Lacey had something in her hands. You couldn't tell really, but she just decked Charlotte there. And then Nia Jax hit a leg drop. 1, 2, 3, new women's tag team champions, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Like I said, not a bad match. It really wasn't a bad match. It was just one of those matches that was just, okay, I could see why it's here. It just needs to be done. I gave the match a C. Meltzer gave this 3 stars, which kind of surprises me. And CBS Sports gave it a B-. So now we go to the main show. We go to the pay-per-view. And our opening match is the WWE Championship match. Goldberg challenging Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. Oh boy, this was something. The introductions are done. Drew attacks Goldberg before the bell even rings. He hits him with a headbutt and a spear. They go to the outside. Goldberg comes back. Goldberg hits a spear through the rail, or the border, I guess we could call it, knocking the border down. Drew is a little bit woozy. Referees come out. Oh, by the way, the bell has not rung yet at this point. The referees are asking if he wants to do this match. He's saying yes. The bell rings. Goldberg goes for the spear, gets hit with the Claymore kick. Drew goes for the pin. 1, 2. Goldberg kicks out. Goldberg would then hit a series of spears and a jackhammer, but could only get a 2 count. Goldberg tried a third spear, missed. Drew hit a Claymore kick, and then another Claymore kick, and Drew McIntyre retained the WWE title. After the match, Goldberg showed respect to Drew McIntyre. Oh boy. Why did this match have to happen? Why did this match have to happen? I gave this a D-. I did not like this match one bit. I love Drew. I understand, it's Goldberg, it's a name, but this didn't really need to happen. Meltzer gave this 2 stars. CBS Sports gave it a C+. Then we go to the SmackDown Women's title match. Carmella challenging Sasha Banks. This is kind of the same match as TLC, except a few minor changes here or there. There was one moment where Carmella did a nice dive through the ropes onto Sasha, but when she landed, it looked like she bent herself in half, which was kind of a scary thing to see there. But eventually Sasha Banks retained the SmackDown Women's title with the Banks statement and would still be champion. I gave this match a C. Meltzer gave it 2 3/4. CBS Sports gave it a B. Again, like I said, this is differing opinions. And now we get to the fun. The Women's Royal Rumble match is the first of the 2 Rumble matches. And I have my papers in front of me, so I'm not going to go through every single detail, so don't worry, you don't have to fast forward any more than you probably already have this week. Bayley is the number 1 entrant, and Naomi is number 2, so Naomi returns. Bianca Belair comes in at 3, and we have a really good spot where Naomi attempts a pile driver on Bianca Belair, but Belair reverses it by landing on her feet, but then Naomi reverses it, and then Belair reverses it. That was a good little back and forth sequence there. Billie Kay comes in at number 4. Well, let me rephrase that. She didn't go in right away. She went out to join the commentary team. And the reason why she didn't go in right away, and these were her words, is because the ring is stacked. I liked that. I thought that was a really good line. There are only 3 people in there, but the ring is stacked. Billie Kay has her 8x10. She gives it to Jerry Lawler. Might be a mistake on Billie Kay's part. And now we get to this first part. This first part I really enjoyed because Billie Kay is so good in this. So number 5 is Shotzi Blackheart. Billie Kay gets up, she goes over, and she's wanting to hand Shotzi, her 8x10. Well, Shotzi, who's on her tank, shoots her missile. The missile misses Billie Kay and might have missed the commentators completely. So, Billie is 0 for 1. Number 6, Shayna Baszler. She offers the same thing to Shayna. Shayna punches the picture. She's 0 for 2 now. Entrant number 7, Toni Storm. She hands the picture. Toni Storm just walks away. Billie Kay is 0 for 3. Billie Kay at this point is already tired from just walking back and forth from the table to the ring. Then we get number 8. Oh, and number 8 is so good. The return of Jillian. I didn't know I needed her so bad in this match. So she comes out. She's actually singing, which I didn't realize at first. And Billie meets her, and she's like, we could be a team. You and I, we could be a team. Billie and Jilly. Billie and Jilly. So Jillian takes her up, and they go together as a team. 9 is Ruby Riott. 10, another nice surprise, Victoria here. By this point, we've only had one elimination. Shotzi Blackheart was the first person eliminated. And you're going to see a theme in both matches. 11 through 15. 11 is Payne and Royce. 12, Santana Garrett. 13, Liv Morgan, who out Christina Aguilera, I thought. 14, Rhea Ripley. 15, Charlotte Flair. Now, in between this, Jerry Lawler, sometimes, he's got these moments where he says a joke, and I'd say almost every joke he says is a miss. This one is an exception. And the recipient of this is poor Byron Saxton. Poor Byron. So, during this part in the match, Jerry Lawler is like, oh, I'm seeing a look of what heaven will be like when I die. This will be heaven. And then, after a few seconds, he's like, or, Byron, if you want to pretend, these women are fighting for you. But, in reality, they won't be with you. They never will. I'm like, God dang. Jerry with the burn. Okay, so Charlotte comes out. 16, Dana Brooke. 17, Tori Wilson. And we're gonna point to something out in a moment with Tori Wilson. 18 is Lacey Evans. And this was so funny because Ric Flair's music plays. And I'm watching this with Jim Boystar. And we're both like, oh my God, Rick is going to enter this match. He's lost his mind. It'll be like, oh, this is perfect. We've had women in the men's rumble. Why can't we have a man in the women's rumble? It ends up being Lacey Evans. And Lacey Evans is wearing one of Ric Flair's robes. And Jerry, who, after having that high of having that wonderful joke, that wonderful burn, is like, she's wearing the same robe that Charlotte wore. No, that is a completely different robe. And Charlotte's robe has where you could see her midsection and has like a Velcro part around the chest that she could just, tear off real easily. Then Lacey's robe is just one of Ric Flair's old robes. So Charlotte beats up on Lacey Evans. Now, I want to mention this because during the 10-second countdown, Tori Wilson gets eliminated by Shayna Baszler. And as this is happening, we see Bayley on the floor. Wait, Why is Bayley on the floor? Well, 19 Mickey James comes out. We see the replay of Bayley getting eliminated. That's right. We get the replay of Bayley being eliminated. Bayley, who was the first person in, was in there for about a half hour or close to a half hour. We don't see the actual elimination. We see the replay of her getting eliminated. Oh, good job. Good job there, Kevin Dunn. Good job. 20 is Nikki Cross. 21, Alicia Fox. So, Alicia Fox comes out, and then R-Truth's music plays. And they're saying to him, no, this is the Women's Rumble match. So meanwhile, you have Drew Gulak, Lucha House Party, Humberto Carrillo, Akira Tozawa chasing R-Truth. R-Truth gets in the ring. Alicia Fox, Schoolgirls, R-Truth. 1, 2, 3. Alicia Fox wins the 24/7 title. 22, Mandy Rose comes out. And then Alicia Fox gets eliminated. And then R-Truth, Schoolboys, Alicia Fox, 1, 2, 3. R-Truth wins the title back. 23 is Dakota Kai. 24, Carmella. So she's pulling double duty tonight. And this is kind of cool because she gets saved twice by Reginald. And on the second save, Tamina comes out at 25. And Reginald sees Tamina and just drops Carmella. Carmella gets eliminated by that. Tamina is given credit for the elimination. 26, the returning Lana. 27, Alexa Bliss. And I thought, okay, Alexa Bliss, this is interesting. At one point, they all go and beat up the smallest person in the back, or in the ring. Alexa Bliss is about to do the transformation. Rhea Ripley throws her out. The rest of the lineup, 28, Ember Moon. 29, Nia Jax. Number 30, Natalya. Natalya earned the number 30 spot by winning a match on WWE Backstage. So, the final four ends up being Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Natalya, and Charlotte Flair. Fight. Natalya gets eliminated. We're down to 3. And we get really good from this point on. It's just really good between the 3 of them. Charlotte gets eliminated. So we're down to Belair and Ripley. And then, this is where it gets really good. Because both women go over the top rope. They land on the apron. And then Ripley's like, let's not do anything dumb. Let's not do anything stupid. Let's just get back in the ring. Let's just do this in the ring. So they go back in the ring, and they have a really good one-on-one. Looks really good. The ending, a series of missed clotheslines. Belair gets the last clothesline in on Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair wins the Women's Royal Rumble, goes from number 3 all the way to the end to win her first Women's Royal Rumble match. My unofficial time, I had 58.50. Meltzer had it at 58.48, so I'm 2 seconds over, which is actually not that bad. So, pat on the shoulder for me. After the match, Bianca Belair gives a very wonderful speech, a wonderful promo, thanking her mom, thanking her dad, thanking Montez Ford from the Street Profits. And this felt very genuine, and she is now going to WrestleMania to challenge the champion of her choice. I will say this, to me, I think this was the best Women's Rumble we have had up to this point. There was nothing bad about it. There was nothing dumb. The surprises were very minimal. They were just done very well. You couldn't have asked for a better final 2. I loved it. I just loved this event, or loved this match. I gave this an A+. I really loved this Women's Rumble match. I think the best of the 4 we've had so far. So I gave it an A+. Meltzer gave it 3 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B. All right. So now we get into a little bit of an intermission. And I accidentally skipped this part, but I do want to talk about it. So during the event, we had the Bad Bunny performance with Booker T. And it's like, okay, they're just doing the performance. Well, we get a backstage segment with Miz and Morrison and Bad Bunny. And, it's like Miz and Morrison want to join Bad Bunny, and Bunny's like, nah, that's not going to happen. So, we'll see what goes on from there. Also, R-Truth comes back. He joins the pre-show team. Peter Rosenberg distracts him, saying John Cena's here. Hits him with a low blow. 1, 2, 3. Rosenberg wins the 24/7 title, to which JBL says this is worse than when David Arquette became World Heavyweight Champion. For those that care, R-Truth would regain the title the following day. Alright, got that part out of the way. Now we go to the Universal title match, last man standing, Kevin Owens challenging Roman Reigns. This was a fun match. Again, it's amazing how Roman Reigns, ever since he became a heel, has been on pay-per-view, show after show after show, having either the best match of the show or one of the best matches of the show. So again, I'm not going to go through every detail of this, but I will point out some stuff. They go onto the little set where the screens are, or the Thunderdome where the people are at, and they fight. Owens takes a fall through the table. KO gets up. And then they go to the back, which is basically about the outfield of where the Tampa Bay Rays play. And Roman Reigns hits KO with a golf cart. He ran him over. Yeah, that's original. Never saw that anywhere. AEW never did that. Then Roman Reigns talks about how he's better than KO's grandfather, and that just pisses off Owens. Owens fights back, and he's like, my grandfather was more of a man than you ever will. And they fight back, and KO does this incredible swanton from the top of a forklift onto Reigns. Looks like a very, very good spot. They eventually fight back to the stage. Roman hits a spear on KO through the stage, but KO rolls onto the floor, landing on his feet, so the count broke. Roman Reigns then went to grab a pair of handcuffs, would hit KO a few times with the handcuffs before KO could come back. He hits a stunner, and then we get to this part, because this part was very good. So KO gets Roman Reigns handcuffed. He gets him handcuffed to one of the light structures. And it's like, oh my God, Owens is going to win the title. He's going to win the title. There's no way, Reigns can get up. So the referee's counting. He gets to 9, and just as he's about to go to 10, Reigns grabs the referee by the shirt, pulls him into the lights. The referee goes face first into a light structure, knocks him out, which stops the count. Meanwhile, and I gotta admit, I liked that part. I really liked that part. And then Roman hits a low blow on KO. Okay, both men are down. New referee comes out. Paul Heyman comes out. He's got a key. Referee is counting. Paul Heyman is trying to unlock Roman Reigns. Owens gets up by 6. Then the referee stops counting. what happened was they could not get the key to work in the handcuff. Could not get it to go. So it took longer for Roman to get free. And then once Roman got free, they fought for a brief moment. Roman put on the guillotine choke. KO collapsed. 10 count. KO just does not respond. Roman Reigns retains the Universal title. A good last man standing match. I thought their match at TLC was a bit better, but this was a very enjoyable match. I gave this a B+. Meltzer gave it 4 stars. CBS Sports, what did CBS Sports give that match? Hold on, let me find their, did they, yeah, they must have had a grade for this. Wow, I do not see a grade. Okay, so they must have either skipped this over or forgot to write about it. Alright, well, that's probably CBS Sports telling me what to do. Okay, so now it's time for the Men's Royal Rumble match. Now, the night before, on WWE Backstage, they announced who number 1 and number 2 were going to be. And they even tweeted this out. Randy Orton was going to go in at number 1. Edge was going to go in at number 2. Somewhere during the day, they changed the order for Edge to go at number 1, Randy Orton to go at number 2. It didn't really matter. Either way, these guys were going to start the Rumble. So, they start outside the ring. The bell doesn't ring. They are fighting on the floor. So, they're fighting. The referees are trying to get them in the ring. They eventually do get in the ring. All they do is continue the fight. Orton eventually gets advantage. Sami Zayn comes in at number 3, and it's a 2-on-1 beatdown on Edge. Ali comes in at number 4, it becomes a 3-on-1 beatdown. Number 5, Jeff Hardy comes out, and then this is where it gets even crazier, because Edge and Orton go back outside, and Edge just destroys Randy Orton outside. Like, he gets a DDT, he gives him chair shots, he's just beating him up over and over and over again. It takes 4 to 6 referees to finally stop this, and now we have a story. The story is Randy Orton has been beaten up by Edge. So while that's going on, Dolph Ziggler comes in at number 6 and eliminates Jeff Hardy. And then if you watch, one of the funnier moments of the night, after Hardy is eliminated, he hops over the barricade onto the other side. So I guess Jeff eliminated himself twice? I don't know. So the story, now the story here is Randy has been beaten up, and it's looking like he's not going to make it. He's not going to be able to come back. Shinsuke Nakamura comes in at 7. Number 8, our first surprise, is Carlito. And oh my gosh, Carlito looks in fantastic shape. Really does. I mean, he looked amazing. Xavier Woods 9, Big E, at 10. Randy Orton then is being carried to the back, and at one point, Corey Graves says, and this is like the, oh, thanks for telling me, I didn't need to know about this. Randy Orton's left knee pad has been torn open. Okay, thanks. I really needed to know that. 11 is John Morrison, and then we get to number 12. Remember, leading up to the Royal Rumble, for those that watched Raw, for like 3 weeks, there would be a different person that would try to win their way into the Royal Rumble match. And every time it was AJ Styles that they'd face. Gulak had a chance, lost. Ricochet had a chance, lost. R-Truth had a chance, lost. Number 12, Ricochet. So, Ricochet, even though losing the match to AJ Styles, still gets in the Royal Rumble. 13, Elias. 14, Damian Priest. And Damian Priest, I gotta say, he looked very impressive in this match. He had, I believe, the most eliminations of anybody I'm looking at. He had 4 eliminations in this one. And then we get to number 15. So number 15 is The Miz. So The Miz walks out, stops, and looks. The DJ set is still there from earlier in the night, from Bad Bunny's performance. So The Miz goes over to the DJ table, takes the briefcase, and destroys the DJ set. For no reason except for, whatever happened backstage earlier on. So now, after destroying that, Miz goes in the ring, fight. Here comes Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny comes out. Miz and Morrison get distracted. They are both eliminated by Damian Priest. Then, Bad Bunny decides to go to the top rope, and he hits a splash on the Miz and Morrison. But when you watch the replay, at first, Bad Bunny slips on the jump, but somehow manages to fix the slip and lands on the Miz and Morrison. Now, I looked up Bad Bunny, and I just want to talk about this real quick, because I wasn't sure about the whole Bad Bunny thing. I really wasn't. I did my research. This is one of the few times where WWE was actually telling the truth, saying, oh, he's one of the biggest artists in the world. WWE was actually telling the truth on this. A fan of pro wrestling, and he wanted to be a pro wrestler if he didn't become a musician. So after looking up everything and seeing what he's done, I'm okay. I can live with him. He wanted to be a wrestler, so I'll give him a chance. And I thought he did pretty good on Raw the next night. So I'm not going to be too annoyed. Or at least for now, I'm not going to be too annoyed. 16, Matt Riddle. 17, Daniel Bryan. 18, Kane. And we get a brief Team Hell No reunion. 19, King Corbin. 20, Otis. 21, Dominic Mysterio. 22, Lashley. And Lashley is on fire. He just eliminates 2 men right away. 23 is the Hurricane. There's your comedy spot there. And then 24 is the return of Christian. And this was actually a nice surprise. I did not expect him to come. So Edge sees this. They get together. They hug. And it's like a big reunion. And then Matt Riddle's like, bro, let me go over. Let me hug. Bro. He gets beat up for it. 25 is AJ Styles. 26, Rey Mysterio. 27, Sheamus. 28, Cesaro. 29, the returning Seth Rollins. And number 30, Braun Strowman. Oh, by the way, Randy Orton is still in the back. They're checking on the knee. So once Strowman gets in, he eliminates 3 men, which gets us down to Edge, Christian, Braun, Riddle, Bryan, and Rollins. Matt Riddle and Daniel Bryan have one of the most amazing wrestling sequences I think I have ever seen in my life. They went back and forth, and it was so damn fun to watch. Those two have a wrestling clinic in the middle of a Royal Rumble match. It was absolutely amazing. Rollins comes in, curve stomp on Daniel Bryan, throws Daniel Bryan, he's out. Riddle goes after Rollins. So they both go over the top. Rollins hits a curve stomp on the Riddle. Riddle gets eliminated. Now we're down to Edge, Christian, Rollins, and Strowman. And Rollins is like, Bryan, you and I, we can be a team. We can do this. Eliminate the Pan. Well, Rollins gets beat up. So Edge and Christian go after Braun. So Braun tries to eliminate Edge. Edge is hanging on. Tries to get back up, goes back down, gets back up, goes back down. Christian from behind helps Edge eliminate Braun from the Royal Rumble. But at the same time, Rollins comes up from behind, eliminates Christian. So now we're down to Seth and Edge. It's one-on-one for a few minutes, and Edge eliminates Seth Rollins. So that's it. Edge wins. Edge wins the Rumble. No. Here comes Randy Orton back. He was never eliminated from the match. RKO onto Edge. And the thought, I'm sure to a lot of people, was, oh no, they're going to give this one to Randy. They're going to give it to him. Randy gets prepared, but Edge reverses, throws Randy Orton out of the ring. Edge wins the Royal Rumble, the third person to ever win from the number one position to go wire to win it. The first person to do it in 17 years. A pretty damn good men's Royal Rumble match. I gave this an A. I think this was a very good Rumble. I still say the women's was a little bit better than the men's, but not by much. It's very close. But this was such a fun Royal Rumble to watch, and I'll go into why in a minute. Meltzer gave this 4.25 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A-. And the reason why I really like this match, and I think this gets completely overlooked, at least I do, anyway. Here's Edge, who until last year had not had a match in 9 years. Comes back, okay, good performance. Has the 2 matches. Hasn't had a match in 6 months. They are asking him to do something he has never done and might never do again, which is go almost an hour in a wrestling ring. And he does not take a break the entire match. And what I mean by that, I want to make this clear. What I mean by that is he doesn't roll to the floor, get on, his knees, sit in a corner for 5 minutes to get himself together, get a bottle of water, get himself together. No, he is in there the entire duration of the match. He is in there, and yes, he did go to the outside, but he is just there facing everybody that comes in his way. And then, you also have Big E, who pulls in a very good performance. Riddle, who pulls in a very good performance. Daniel Bryan, who pulls in a very good performance. You had some very good performances in this particular Royal Rumble match. Maybe the best one since 2018 for the men? Maybe? It's a pretty good argument. And as far as Edge winning it, I really don't mind it. Because, again, it goes back to the story that they told. The story that they told was that here's Edge, who's fighting everybody. He gets his ass kicked sometimes. He comes back and kicks ass. And he's going on to everybody the entire match. And that's what makes this so fun, I thought, to watch. So, before I get into my grade of the entire event, what did our Facebook group think of the show? Well, we have a tie between an A grade and a B grade. We had a few people that gave it a C. One person gave it an F. So before I go into what I gave this event, just a couple of comments that I want to read. One person said, all around, great show other than the handcuff botch. Another person said the Goldberg match sucked. Loved both Rumbles. One person said the Goldberg match and the handcuffs are the two reasons the show got a B for me. Okay, that's fair. I've got to give this show an A. I really do. The two Rumble matches and the Universal title match propelled this show from being what could have been a B to an A. And it's like I said, this is a tale of two halves. The first half, very skippable. Very skippable. Second half is fan-freaking-tastic. It really, really is. As far as the best match of the show, your favorite match from the Royal Rumble, this is a very close one. It is between the men's and the women's Rumble match. Most people went with the men's, followed by the women's, and we had one vote for the women's tag title match. I'm going to give my vote to the women's Royal Rumble match. I thought that was an absolute fantastic match. It was fantastically... Both were done phenomenally well. But if I had to pick one, the women's Royal Rumble match, to me, was the better of the two, was my favorite of the two. Not saying that the men's wasn't any good, because it was really good.
It's outside in the street.
But if I had to pick one, I'd go with the women. Alright. Okay, so before I wrap up the show for this week, it is time for my annual Super Bowl prediction. Who do I think will win Super Bowl 55 this Sunday? The Kansas City Chiefs are a 3-point favorite going into the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Should be a pretty good game. Looking forward to this one. But I think Kansas City has just too many weapons for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers to deal with. I see the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, repeating as champions of the National Football League. And if I had to pick an MVP, I'm going to go with Travis Kelce, the tight end, as the MVP of Super Bowl 55. Alright, well that's going to do it for this week's show, so let's get into the plugs. If you got any questions or comments, send an email, wrestlingman@thatwrestlingshow.com. Don't forget to follow the show on Twitter at WrestlingShow11. Follow the show on Instagram, That Wrestling Show. Join the Facebook group, That Wrestling Show Fan Group. You type that in the search bar and you are right there. And if you can't find it, it's okay. I put the link in the description of each and every episode. So all you have to do is copy and paste the link. And if you like what you hear, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/That Wrestling Show, where we give you extra content for the best value anywhere. We have 3 tiers, $1, $2, $3. The $3 tier gets you everything. Check us out, patreon.com/That Wrestling Show. Now to plug some friends of the podcast, check out our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn. It is their season finale this week, and this week they discuss what went wrong with interest in wrestling, plus the finale of the Royal Flush of the worst feuds, and a special review of Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan on Double Dare. Plus, Up today, a brand new episode of Acid Washed Memories 3, where they discuss fast food memories and failures. That is this week on our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast. Check out Greetings from Allentown with Peter Winson. He watches one episode of professional wrestling each week in his own unique way. This week, he watches an episode of WWF Superstars from May 26th, 1990, the Earthquake Hulk Hogan incident on the Brother Love Show. Also, check out GFA Live with Peter and Keithy Langston as they watch some interesting stuff, and they've been, as of late, discussing scenes from the Karate Kid 2. Check it out this week. Greetings from Allentown. Also, check out Juice Pro Wrestling, where this week they interview Sam Adonis, and he talks about how he grew up in a wrestling family, his love for ECW, and why New Japan is the place to be, plus more this week on Juice Pro Wrestling. And check out Two Fans Review Wrestling Podcast. This week, they are wrapping up 1995. It's a year-end awards show where they look at the award winners from 1995. I know, it sounds a little weird, but trust me, they do it. That's this week on Two Fans Review Wrestling Podcast. If you're looking for non-wrestling related podcasts, check out Last Stop Penn Station with Carrie Silken and Ian Riccaboni as they go into the life of Carrie Silken. This week, it is all about the Super Bowl, and I'm sure Carrie's got some crazy stories about the Super Bowl. That is this week on Last Stop Penn Station. Check out the Castle Vault, which is a chronological deep dive of Disney animated films powered by Disney+. This week, they discuss Toy Story 2. That is this week on the Castle Vault. On Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, they sit down with legendary guitarist and record producer Richard Bennett, who, along with Weird Al, has performed with Neil Diamond and Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits. This is part one of a two-part interview this week on Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast. And finally, check out Sharks Pond, a South Park podcast where I watch, discuss, and review each and every South Park episode. This week, I discuss the Season 11 episode, Fantastic Easter Special. That is this week on Sharks Pond, a South Park podcast. Alright, next week on the podcast, on the program, going to preview NXT TakeOver, which is now known as Vengeance Day. Sounds like a very interesting name for that show. Going to give you predictions on all the matches that are going to take place there, plus wrestling news and a lot more. Everybody have a good, safe weekend, no matter where you are, and come back here next week for another episode of That Wrestling Show, the podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And as always, wrestle on.